Alright, tubes, it's time for another update on this jet engine project here. I know you guys are probably getting scared that I gave up on another project, but fear not, because we're still going to keep going with this, just not necessarily with this turbo and combustor. And so there's a couple reasons for that. The first being is that this is a small turbo, and I knew from the start that a small turbo just isn't going to give you much thrust. And the reason being is for a jet engine to give you a lot of thrust, you need lots of mass airflow. And the only way you get that is if you can take in a lot of air, and a little turbo just can't do that. You can only take in so much through a given size inducer. So that's the one thing. And then the other thing is that I didn't want this thing to turn out the way it looks right now. Right now it's all set up here on a vise, and I got all these hoses and stuff hooked up to it. What I really wanted to look like is something professional on a frame, and I actually started building a frame. But I want everything to be self-contained and have a nice control panel and all that. And that's not to say I couldn't do that the way it is right now. However, what I'm trying to do is save cost. And one of the other things that I have here is that if I keep going with this turbo, I might discover that it's not going to work. And the reason being is I may or may not have mentioned that this actually came off a generator that blew up. And so if you take a look at it, because I figured I ought to check this out before I tried to run it, some of these blades here actually did have some damage, and some significant damage. Some of them have chips out of them. These three seem to be fine, but some of them got chips. Some of them are actually bent over and all that. So I'm not a turbo expert, but what I do know is when you got a wheel spinning at 85,000 RPM, if it's not balanced, it's not going to work. So that being said, I think that my best bet here is, if I'm trying to save money, is to just get a good turbo that I know is going to work, rebuild a combustor that's going to be, I know is going to be the right size, and while I'm at it, I'm absolutely going to do stainless. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do away with the propane. We've had enough of that. Propane just smells, and you burn a whole lot of it because you don't have as many BTUs as you do with a liquid fuel. So I'm looking for a turbo, looking for like a VT50 or a ST50 tractor trailer turbo, because that'll move plenty of air for us. That's probably one of the most common turbos that are used for these kind of projects. I actually have a fuel pump. It's a hydraulic fuel pump. Well, it will be a fuel pump anyhow. Right now it's just a hydraulic pump off a forklift. So I know it'll provide plenty of pressure, so I probably won't have to make an evaporator system. We can just do I can't think of the word, but it's a thing that makes a spray, an atomizer nozzle off like an oil burner, but might need something with a little more fuel flow than that. But either way, I think that's what we're going to do here, and we'll probably plan it out a little bit better, so that way we don't run into any problems. We'll know exactly what's going on at all times. But that's about it. We're getting up past 3.5 minutes here, so I'm going to call that a video. Maybe I'll show you guys some flames real quick before I shut it down. But that's a basic idea, and that's what's going on with the turbo project. Alright, thanks for watching.